up a fundraiser page, some top tips for finding fundraisers, top tips for encouraging and promoting your fundraisers. We'll go through some of Local Giving's fundraising resources, and then we'll talk through the benefits of having fundraisers on board. And as I said, if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to take them at the end of the webinar. So first things first, why are we all here? Well, we're here because Local Giving are launching our annual Local Hero campaign on the 1st of April. Local Hero is free for fundraisers to sign up if their charity is a member of Local Giving. And basically how the campaign works is every active fundraiser on Local Giving over the month of April is automatically enrolled into our Local Hero competition. This competition is really special because it's not about who can raise the most money, it's about who can engage the most donors. So fundraisers are ranked on how many donors they can get to donate to their page, with each individual counting as 1 point. So as they're fundraising for you online, they're also taking part in this competition. There will be £5,000 of prize money, and the way it works is on our website we will have a leaderboard which lists the top 20 fundraisers in the country, and people will be able to keep a track of how they're getting on in the competition. And the general idea is that it fosters a bit of a spirit of competition, and people try to promote their page as farly and as widely as possible. So we have a number of prizes up for grabs. The winner will get £1,000. We'll then have runners-up prizes of £500, £200, and £100. And as I said, the top 20 will receive one of those cash prizes. And the winner last year was Adam Curtis. He won the competition and that £1,000 prize by reaching out to 261 unique sponsors. So 261 unique individuals donated to his page over the course of the month of April. So on top of the £2,000 that he raised for the Russell School, he got that £1,000 in prize money. So obviously Adam was fantastic last year in raising that much, but just so you know, the people who were coming sort of 20th, 19th, 18th in the competition and getting those £100 prizes were reaching out to around 40 to 50 donors. So definitely achievable, and definitely something that most charities can do if they have a really motivated fundraiser who you keep inspired and keep pushing their page out to your various supporters and their own personal friends and family. So to set up a fundraiser page on Local Giving, all the fundraiser has to do is go to your Local Giving page and click on that orange Fundraise for Us button that you can see on your screen over on the right. As soon as they click on that orange Fundraise for Us button, they'll be brought through to where it's quick and easy for them to create their own fundraising page, which will then appear as a drop-down on your own Local Giving page. So the way to get people signed up is to promote the Local Hero campaign. So reach out on social media, talk to friends and family, put it in a newsletter, or even put up an advert in a local newspaper, and generally just promote the idea that through Local Giving you can have a fundraiser page set up, and that there's this Local Hero competition that's going on in April. So it would be brilliant if someone would volunteer to give you a hand and to set up a page to run a marathon or take on some other challenge for your charity. So when you're thinking about the types of people you can reach out to, remember that it's easy to persuade people to fundraise for you if they have a connection with your charity. So that could be trustees or staff, but it could also be volunteers and supporters of your group, and indeed it can be service users. I always say that if you get volunteers or service users on board, they're a ready-made ambassador for the work that you do. So as they're fundraising and as they're taking part in this Local Hero competition, they can also talk about how your charity helps them or the work that you do and how it has inspired them to get involved. Likewise, for trustees or staff, they're people who know the ins and outs of what your organization does, so they really are ideal people to be talking about the work that you do and asking people to make donations. What I think is really key to remember with fundraiser pages is that they can help what we call donor fatigue. So they help you get around the idea that you're always sort of asking the same people who support your charity to donate again and again. The benefit of individual fundraisers is that they will reach out to their own networks of family and friends and work colleagues to get a donation. Oftentimes what we see is that the people who donate to fundraiser pages might never have actually interacted with your charity before. They might not be aware of the work that you do. The people who donate to fundraiser pages are usually doing it to support a friend or a family member. So a good example would be if I were to run a marathon in London for a local community group in Hackney, the people who might start donating to my local giving page could be friends and family that I have, and people I live with, people I work with. It might not necessarily be people who've ever come across that group in Hackney. They're doing it to support me because I'm their friend. Fundraisers will become an ambassador for your cause. So as they're promoting the work that you do and raising money from new people, they're going to raise awareness of what you do as an organization. So they're potentially going to be someone who could recruit new service users for you, new volunteers for you, and just generally spread the word of what you do as an organization as they're also raising money. For you, fundraisers are quite light touch. The difficult part is recruiting them, but once they're recruited, generally speaking, they do the fundraising for you. For you, it's more about encouraging them, motivating them, helping them spread the word online, but in general, they're going to drive a lot of the donations. So for you, it can be quite light touch. The key thing to remember is to celebrate their milestones and keep them motivated. So just little things like giving them an email when they get their first donation, giving them a call when they reach halfway to their target, and if they're doing a sporting challenge, a marathon, maybe printing out a T-shirt or being there on the day when they cross the finish line to take photos and thank them on behalf of the charity. Keep them motivated, keep them inspired, and they'll do the fundraising for you. So I spoke with Lewis Wilde, who is the volunteer coordinator at one of our charities, the St. Petrock Society. And they do a lot of sleep outs and a lot of fundraisers set up these pages to raise money for their work. I think it's interesting that they go with the sleep out route because they are a homelessness charity. So as they're raising money, they're also raising awareness for what St. Petrocks do as an organization. So Lewis was saying on the phone to me that she thinks local giving is a really easy tool, and it's really easy to share on social media and to tie in with other incentives like Local Hero. And what she finds is that the people who fundraise through local giving are not often the people that they thought would actually set up a page like this. It becomes a sort of word of mouth thing because they promote it so well and promote the idea so widely. It's often sort of local connections, friends of friends, people who've engaged with the charity before that become fundraisers. So try and recruit people to become fundraisers in your immediate circle, but also promote the idea in general. And what she says is that it can definitely pay off in the long run because when someone does a challenge like this, it tends to become kind of infectious. And she says that now they have quite a few regular fundraisers who do it every year and keep coming back for more. So they've been inspired once to do it, they've had such an excellent time, and then they come back again and again every year to do another challenge. So when looking at online fundraising and fundraiser pages in particular, remember that you can do the old tried and tested things of marathons, cake sales, head shaves, sponsored sleep outs. The old sort of tried and tested community fundraising events are perfectly compatible with online fundraising. But remember as well that you're almost completely unlimited in what you can turn in to a fundraising page. So over here on the right, we have an example from A to Z of different things that groups have already done on local giving. I think the really key thing to bear in mind here is that if you can think outside the box and come up with something quite weird or sort of individual to your charity, it tends to get more attention online. So for instance, we've had people do sponsored go to work in their pajamas for the day. We've had people do dry no alcohol months. People go vegan for a week. People go vegetarian for a month. We had a knit-a-thon, people doing face paint competitions. I think a really good example of sort of thinking outside the box with stuff like this was the Ice Bucket Challenge a couple of years ago. Just remember that you can turn any sort of event or spectacle into a fundraising opportunity for your organization. A really good example of a group who did this are the Ulini Therapy and Support Complementary Health Centre. They are a cancer support charity whose director, Nikki Heath, managed to convince her son to do a fundraising page for them. So as you see, this is Adam's fundraising page. He set out with a target of raising £300, and he actually did over 3 times that and raised nearly £1,000 for this charity. So Adam's idea was pretty straightforward. He told his friends and family that he would grow out a huge, massive beard, as you can see in that photo. And he said that whenever people donated to his local giving page, they could nominate a color. And at the end of the campaign, he would dye his beard those colors. So obviously, all of Adam's mates thought this was hilarious, and they started donating £5, £10, £20, and nominating colors like bright pink and baby blue, and really got on board with the idea. Adam actually reached out to his boss and told him that he would have to grow out this beard first and foremostly, so he would be in his office with this massive beard, and then that he was going to dye it a rainbow of colors and turn up to the office looking a bit like a circus clown. The boss thought it was hilarious and actually encouraged all the other members of staff to donate and allowed Adam a chance to speak to all the other staff members to encourage them to donate. Adam also went to his local barber and asked the barber would he be able to do all of the work. The barber also thought it was a hilarious idea, offered to do all the work for free, put up posters, and let Adam and his friends come in and witness the spectacle together. So all of Adam's connections started to get on board and support him. So this is Adam at the start of the challenge. That was Adam after he had dyed the beard. And here's a photo of him and his mother Nikki at the Ulini Therapy Centre. And what I really think is funny about this photo is that somebody mentioned to me once that it looks like her shawl is made out of his beard. I think that's entirely coincidental though. So that was an excellent example of setting up a fundraising page that was outside the box, that caught people's attention. And I think it's a really good example of trying to think about the types of people that you're trying to engage. So Adam knew that the people who were most likely to donate to his page were his own friends, and he knew that the best way to engage them would be to do something quite silly and to sort of put himself up on a pedestal and make fun of himself and make it sort of lighthearted for his friends to engage with. So I asked Nikki, his mother and the director of the Ulini Therapy Centre, if she had any advice, and she said that fundraising is hand in glove with raising community awareness for who you are as an organization. So I think that's really key and a key lesson of Adam's story. Adam got so much attention that as he was fundraising, he was also raising awareness of what this terrific organization did. Nikki also said to come up with ideas for your fundraisers and think outside the box a little bit. She said that people are more interested in things that they find interesting, amusing, or exciting. I think Adam is obviously a really good example of that. And lastly, going back to that idea of trying to think about the people that you're trying to engage. So have a think about who your fundraiser is, who he or she is trying to reach out to. Try and think about the types of people who support your charity and the type of people who are interested in your work, and then come up with an idea that they would find engaging and that they would find interesting. Once you have someone signed up, remember to stick to the plan. So I would sit down with the fundraiser and come up with a plan of action. So do things like set out a realistic target. So set a target for them to work towards of how much they want to fundraise for. Work out a bit of a strategy about how you're going to ask people to donate and how you're going to promote the page. So it could be things like linking up your social media accounts. It could be sending the press release to a local newspaper. It could be calling a local radio station, whatever it may be. I would introduce the fundraiser to your supporters. So keep your supporters up to date with what the fundraiser is up to. Include them in your emails. Include them in your newsletter. To do this, I would use images and videos if possible. So take photos of the fundraiser. If they're running a marathon or something, get them to take photos or selfies of them out training and try and build a bit of a story online. And remember at the end to have a plan about how you're going to thank the donors. So make sure you and the fundraiser are thanking them on social media. Maybe also think about sending them a more tailored thank you email or adding them to a newsletter where they could see regular updates of the projects that they've helped to fund. Remember that social media is key to any good fundraiser campaign, and indeed key to all of the success stories that we've had with Local Hero. We've got some resources you can use with example tweets. So you'll see things that you can tweet out before you recruit a fundraiser, and you can also see how you can tweet out information while they're fundraising and after the fundraising event. And we have the same thing for Facebook. Lots of examples of posts that you could put out to inspire people to become fundraisers, to support people who have become fundraisers, and then to thank your fundraisers and all their donors at the end. We have a variety of different resources you can use. So if you log into your Local Giving account, go to My Fundraising Toolkit, and then click on Local Hero. We've got loads of Twitter banners, Facebook banners, example Twitter and Facebook tweets and posts that I just showed you, templates for emails, lots of different guides around how to take part in the campaign. So look at it as a sort of ready-made marketing pack. Log into your toolkit and have a look at some of the resources that we've already got done. Remember as well that on our homepage, you can go to our resources page where we've got lots of general tips and guides around online fundraising, including that A to Z of fundraising ideas that we talked about earlier. If you're looking at what sort of return you can expect with online fundraisers, on Local Giving, we see that the average fundraiser raises around £520. A lot do quite more than that, and some do a little bit less than that. So the target is always something that you can set yourselves and work towards. What I think is really key with fundraisers, and we spoke about this a little bit earlier, is that on average they bring in 16 new donors to the charity. So 16 people who've never donated to your organization before. I think that's really key because those 16 people are potentially key supporters for you in the future, future volunteers, future service users, people who might sign up to do a fundraising challenge themselves, or someone you can rely on for a donation at your next fundraising campaign. So today we covered the Local Hero competition and how it works. We talked about how to set up a fundraiser page. We went through top tips for fundraisers, top tips for encouraging them, top tips for how to promote their page, and we talked a little bit about Local Giving's fundraiser resources and the benefit of having fundraisers on board. We have 3 more Local Hero webinars coming up on the 7th, 15th, and 20th of March, where we'll go through more in-depth ways of how you can take part in Local Hero 2018. But remember that there are £5,000 worth of prizes for the top 20 fundraisers throughout the country. They're competing for the most individuals donating to their page between the 1st and the end of April. If you want to sign up to those webinars, just go to webinar.localgiving.org. You can also access it to our homepage. That's it, guys. Thanks for coming along. Best of luck if you take part in the Local Hero competition. If you want to talk through how to join Local Giving or more information about the campaign, just email help@localgiving.org or call us on 0300 111 2340.